gentlemen, you've seen him on the television, heard him on the radio. Now, please welcome to the stage, international spiritualist medium, Mr. Colin Fry.
Good evening. Thank you. Okay, let's have the lights up so I can see you. Please welcome to the stage my guest tonight, Miss TJ Higgs. We've got a gentleman that's been showing us that he's Polish by birth. Would have been born in Poland, and we suspect that he probably was a Polish serviceman that spent, if not all, some of the war years in this country. We feel that he stayed and he married in this country.
There's a connection to Italy as well, because it's like he went to Italy first, so you would know that if you're related to him.
The feeling that I'm being given with him as well is, we were picking about, he loved all the old musicals and musical films, things like Sound of Music and Rosemary and...
Do you understand that, darling? Okay.
Where are we? Hello.
Sounds like my granddad.
Yeah.
And he loved all the old musical films like The Sound of Music and Rosemary and Seven Brides for Seven Brothers and Carousel and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you understand the connection to Poland?
He was Polish and he was in the war as well.
But he was in the army?
And he's army, and then
Okay.
he came here and he was a Polish serviceman in exile here during the war.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I see lots of green paint for as well? It's like everything's painted bleeding green.
Yeah, his house.
It's like everything's painted green. It's like if it was a bit of wood
Like
or a
inside
wall,
his house.
paint it green.
Yeah.
Very
All of his
thrifty then,
house.
your granddad. You get one pot of paint, I'll paint it all. Okay.
Yeah. I want to put a permanent smile on his face. He would not let anyone see him in public unless he was smiling.
Yeah.
It's like you say, when you go out or when you meet people, you must smile. You must always smile. You must always let people see the good and the happy side of you. He never let people see that other side of him. So even when he was coming towards the end of his life and his faculties in lots of different ways were failing, he still insisted that he had that smile on his face.
He keeps showing me a photograph of him in military uniform. And I know he's very young.
Yeah.
He must be 22, 24 when that was taken. But
We've
it's
got
kind
it
of
in
like
our
one of
house.
those... Pardon?
We've got it in our house.
You've got it, because it's kind of one of those weird ones where the colour doesn't look quite right because it's so old. Do you know, like one of them...
Yeah.
Who couldn't say grandpa and used to call him grumpy?
I used to.
You did?
Yeah.
Because he weren't grumpy though, was he? You know, you keep doing that with your glasses. As you keep doing that with your glasses, I can see that in my mind with your granddad as well. And you know, somebody wanting to read all, like the big newspapers, I'm not talking about The Sun, I'm talking about, like the Times or whatever's really big. I'm sorry, I don't read them. And but I know he wants to know what's going on. He's not like a man looking for horse racing. He's a man looking for news. He's a man looking for information.
Obituaries. He always used to read the obituaries in newspapers.
Well, that's a bit morbid, isn't it?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. It's like he was always interested in who just passed over. Yeah? So he would always read the obituaries in the newspapers. It was something he always made a point of reading.
I keep wanting to tell you, don't stop learning because you need to know everything. I keep wanting to put that to you, my darling. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Because you're kind of giving up a little bit, aren't you? Are we allowed to say that in front of your mum?
And I have to actually say that he had personal reasons why he never really felt strongly drawn to want to go back to the country of his birth. He really didn't have a great... He really took to this country. And he was very proud of the fact that he was a British citizen.
He came from a very poor part, and I don't know, he never really went, he didn't, to the end of his life, didn't go back.
No, but he was very proud of the fact that he was a British citizen.
Yeah, he was,
I think the reason he's here is for his granddaughter to say, don't give up, because
he seems to
knowledge
think that you
is
would
empowering.
It would seem to him to think that you would particularly remember that his love of musical films.
Yeah, he did like his music, didn't he?
The Sound of Music. Really.
Sound of Music, yeah.
He's a very quiet man.
Yeah. He's just, it's because she's going to give up, or she's feeling like she wants to give up. That's why he's had to push through, because you must know that it's worth it, my darling.
He was very proud of her.
Yeah, well, he still is, but don't you give up. Okay? He's right behind you and all this. Did you ever talk to him about becoming a teacher? Why haven't you fulfilled that dream, my darling? You've had it since you were about 4 years old, when you used to make him sit there and teach him.
Yeah.
Do you think he sat through that because of his love? You know, he was like,
Probably.
he wanted you to make him proud of you. He's putting a square out on your head, so I don't know if you've already got that, but it's like, come on, girl, come on. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you funny about eating oranges? Do you not like the pith on oranges?
I don't eat fruit.
You don't eat fruit?
No.
And yet, when you were a little girl, if all the pith was taken off a piece of orange, would you just about eat that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
She couldn't bear.
He just seems to think that he would often end up with the job of peeling all the pith off of...
She couldn't bear anything that was with bits in.
But you used to take
She
all
had to have everything.
Fine, okay.
Liquid eyes.
We'll leave Grandad's love and best wishes with you, darling.
Take care,
God
darling.
bless.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
My grandpa was born in Poland. He was in the Polish army during the Second World War. He did go through Italy, was in Monte Cassino, and he moved to Britain, married my nan. All they said was really quite accurate.
Probably was a Polish serviceman that spent, if not all, some of the war years in this country. We feel that he stayed and he married in this country.
There's a connection to Italy as well, because it's like he went to Italy first.
When Colin mentioned the green paint, we just looked at each other and were just like, that's his house. His whole house inside is sort of green.
Do you understand what I see lots of green paint for as well? It's like everything's painted bleeding green.
When he mentioned the photograph, I was just, it's in my mum and dad's room, and it's one of the main things that I remember about him. It just summed him up really, like the way that he was in his uniform. He was very proud of, who he was, and it really touched me actually.
He keeps showing me a photograph of him in military uniform.
We've got it in our house.
You've got it, because it's kind of one of those weird ones where the colour doesn't look quite right because it's so old.
Lately, I've had some bad results at my AS levels, and my motivation's gone down quite a lot.
Because she's going to give up, or she's feeling like she wants to give up, that's why he's had to push through, because you must know that it's worth it, my darling.
I've been questioning university as well, whether I want to go, but they said about the square hat, and I'm going to try and keep pushing.
He's putting a square out on your head, so I don't know if you've already got that, but it's like, come on, girl, come on.
When I was a child, I always wanted to be a teacher, and when they mentioned about that, I couldn't believe it. I mean, not many people know that I talked to my grandpa about that.
Did you ever talk to him about becoming a teacher?
So when I was little, I only used to eat the fruit if it had been properly peeled.
When you were a little girl, if all the pith was taken off a piece of orange, would you just about eat that? Yeah?
When Colin mentioned that someone used to call him Grumpy Grandad, that was me.
Who couldn't say grandpa and used to call him grumpy?
This experience has really touched me. I mean, I came here more for support from my mum, really. And it wasn't that I didn't believe in it, but I just sort of questioned it more than anything. And I completely believe in it now, and it's the way that they said about moving on, don't give up and keep going with my schoolwork and things like that. I really am, and I'm going to try and prove to my grandpa that I can do it, so yeah.